The love I had for manga is gone. Manga was a way for me to escape. A way to experience the endless possibilities in the worlds of these amazing storytellers. It was an emotional connection that I gave a lot of time and attention on understanding. The worlds, the characters, the themes, and their meanings. It was a way to connect to other people. People who, like me, also loved stories and characters and tropes and more. It's the reason I started this very YouTube channel. But I lost that love for manga. And now, I want to get it back. I have been making YouTube videos covering manga since 2018. Has primarily focused on the popular series My Hero Academia. But in August of 2024, My Hero Academia published its final chapter. Now, My Hero Academia is a series that I loved deeply. So I thought it was fitting to read it and make an extensive review on the series I've committed years of investment into. This would be the best way for me to find the love that I lost. My plan was simple. Read every chapter, and after reading, I would take extensive notes on that chapter to make a web of connections and plot points, character relationships, and thematic emphasis. And My Hero Academia is a beautiful series. It's a series about heroes and villains, specifically what creates a hero and conversely what forms a villain. It's a story that follows a young boy named Izuku Midoriya who desires deeply to be a hero like his idol All Might. Yet he was born quirkless in a world where everyone has quirks. This proposes a question. Can you become a hero without having a quirk? Interestingly, Izuku ran into All Might after being attacked by a villain and was able to ask that very question. Can I become a hero like you, even being quirkless? The answer was no. This story beautifully encapsulates heroism in a way most mediums don't, presenting so many alternative realities of heroism and villainy, from morally questionable people becoming top heroes to innocent children growing to be the most heinous villains. Is the fault for villainy on heroes or on society as a whole? Or even more complex, is it the lack of love and encouragement one has with their family? Looking back, My Hero Academia is a brilliantly orchestrated story with beautiful art, amazing character dynamics, and an even better conclusion to character stories. Unfortunately, this isn't what I experienced while rereading My Hero Academia. Truthfully, I do love this series, and I did read a piece of it. I read and took notes on every single chapter, and frankly, it was exciting the possibilities I could make. But then I would read a chapter where I didn't really have much to say, and it would go from 1 chapter of no notes to 2 straight chapters, then 3 straight chapters, then 5. But to me, I had to make notes because there's information that I may be missing. So I went back and forced myself into taking notes, even on less interesting chapters. And after around 86 chapters of notes, I just lost the desire to read the story. I didn't like this. My appreciation for My Hero Academia was not expressed, and my love for manga was not at all replenished. Not knowing what to do, thinking I'm useless. I can't even enjoy making a video about a series I've talked about for years. So maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe I never loved manga at all, and I've been just faking it all these years just to grow YouTube, just for my benefit. And I thought silently to myself, I'm just gonna pack it up. No more manga, no more MangaVation. In my heart, I knew I was being too harsh on myself, but that didn't stop me from feeling the way I felt. So I decided to take a week off, cool down, and gather some recommendations from other YouTubers of manga to read, and just read those. No reviews, no videos, I'm just going to read them, hoping that something revitalizes me. The first manga I picked up was Sakamoto Days is an insanely popular series. It's on almost every recommendation list for ongoing manga to read, so I decided to check it out. Now, Sakamoto Days is a series that follows Taro Sakamoto, who once was an ultimate assassin, feared by villains and admired by hitmen. But one day, he fell in love. Retirement, marriage, fatherhood, and then Sakamoto gained weight. A chubby guy who runs the neighborhood store is a former legendary hitman. Can he protect his family from danger? Get ready to experience this new kind of action comedy. Yeah, I'm literally reading from the wiki. Unfortunately, I was only able to get about 5 chapters in Sakamoto Days before I dropped it. I simply was not interested enough in this story to even continue past that. Now, this isn't to say that Sakamoto Days is bad, but I didn't feel the love that I once had for manga in this story. I started to feel bad about myself for not giving it any chance, but for some reason or another, instead of going back and giving Sakamoto Days another chance, I decided to go on to the next series. Demon Slayer is a simple story about compassion, love, and empathy to those who are living. From the first chapter, we are introduced to Tanjiro, a kind-hearted and respected boy whose entire family was slaughtered while he was away. The only one who was alive was his younger sister Nezuko. However, she was now a demon, who for some reason would not kill humans. So to find the real murderer of his family and to reverse the effect of his sister being a demon, Tanjiro became a demon slayer, where he is met with many trials and has to fight against many demons, all with unique and tragic backstories for why they became demons. And Tanjiro is the only one who seemingly is compassionate towards these demons. From what I've read, over everything else, the author wants to convey the emotional connection between the characters in this story. But ultimately, the same fate came. My desire to read manga ran out quickly, and honestly, this was discouraging to me. This is a manga that is known as one of the most popular manga in history and is amongst the best-selling manga of all time. Yet I had no idea why I couldn't connect to any of it, let alone find my love for manga as a whole. So I decided to stop and really look at this matter carefully. Simply reading manga was not the answer to my problems. One day, while I was scrolling on X, I saw that the author of My Hero Academia, Kohei Horikoshi, had personally recommended a manga to read. It's not like I had any hope that this manga was special or anything, but simply because the creator of the story that I loved a lot recommended this manga, I was curious on what this manga had to offer. Wait a minute, I suddenly remembered. In the first volume of My Hero Academia, the first page when you open the volume writes a letter from Kohei Horikoshi. This is my 3rd series to be collected into graphic novel. Forgive me if this sounds reckless, but the thing I prioritize most when drawing manga is creating something that I can enjoy. This one might not remain popular, but for now, I'll just be happy if everyone finds it as fun as I do. Wow. Just wow. From being a superstar up-and-comer to having his first 2 serialized stories cancelled and his dreams crushed. And his only focus is making a story people can enjoy as much as he does. I understand everything now. The reason I fell out of love with manga is because I lost focus on what manga truly is. Manga is story, which is an avenue to communicate your ideas. And in communication, you also must receive it for it to be effective. My focus is only on me and what I can get out of something. Reading manga so that I can make a review. Reading manga so that I can find enjoyment, but not reading manga so I can receive whatever the author is trying to give. The reason I loved My Hero Academia isn't because it's perfect. It's because I declared from the start, after reading this very letter, that I'm not going to judge or have unrealistic expectation of the story outside of what Horikoshi shows me through his story. And within that very moment, I decided to give this manga that Horikoshi recommended a shot. I will not have any expectation, I will not judge this manga or this mangaka, and I will solely focus on trying to understand what the mangaka is wanting to tell me through their story. In this story, Magic is alive. Living magic called magic first contacted humanity centuries ago. Out of nowhere, a talking blob of water appeared. Drink every drop of this water. Do that and you'll acquire me, the water magic. That is my trial. After that, the bonfire magic appeared, then the iceberg magic, then the breeze magic. Over centuries, these magic appearances spread across the world, and by passing these magic's trials, people could acquire the magic themselves. Currently, in the modern age, there are magic hunters who have overcome many trials and have acquired powerful magics. In this world, only women have the affinity to use magic. Therefore, only women have the ability to acquire these magics. These hunters are called witches and are respected with reverence. This manga is titled Ichi the Witch, and it is an insanely interesting story that is written by Osama Mishi and illustrated by Shiro Usazaki. This story follows a young man named Ichi, a regular hunter in a world where only women have the affinity to use magic. However, it's revealed there's a single magic who cannot be acquired by a woman, and through sheer luck, Ichi was able to meet its trial and acquire the power of that magic. I thoroughly enjoy this story. I've never read any Osama Mishi stories, but she has a brilliant way of subverting my expectations to make things all the more funny. And since I've immersed myself in this world of possibilities, trying to understand everything that the author has to tell me. What exactly are magics? Where do they come from? Why are women the only one with the affinity to use magic? And how is it possible for Ichi, a man, to acquire one? The author presents this idea of death for death, which is an interesting theme to me. Not simply because death is involved, but what it seems to imply further, which to me is a focus on intention and why it matters whenever you're doing anything. This is a universal principle that can be applied anywhere. Is killing wrong, or are there certain situations in which it can be justified? Why do you do what you do? But it became a more personal question when I applied that to myself. Why I lost my love for manga? Why reading more manga wouldn't be the answer. Every problem I've had was because I've been insanely selfish. Now, why that is due to all the issues and circumstances I was going through in life, and it makes sense. But because I've been affected negatively by my own self-absorption, focusing on things that I can't control and accepting negativity in my heart for those very things, put me in a position to where I can't enjoy manga because I can't enjoy anything in life. These questions are difficult but necessary to give you an understanding of who you are when a difficult situation comes up. This is a revelation. The reason I was stuck was because I stopped looking at stories as things that should be understood and only as things that should entertain and fulfill me. But now I realize that in every story there is a message, and I should desire to understand and to better appreciate everything that story has to offer. And now I have my love for manga back, and I want to express that exact love in video form. So in the comments, place your recommendations for good and bad manga that you would love to see me analyze and review. And until next time, make sure you stand up and win your zone every single day.